to an open Smith. Steve Smith is going to go all the way. No flags down. Smith scores, and the Carolina Panthers win in overtime.
With the first pick in the 2023 NFL Draft, the Carolina Panthers select Bryce Young, quarterback, Alabama.
And she loses the football. Scooped up by Burns. Brian Burns to the house.
Welcome to the Stop Capping Sports Podcast.
Ice up, son. Ice up.
What is going on? I am Seth, here with James.
What's up, guys?
We're flying as a duo this week.
I think this is the first time.
It is the first time, definitely first time tag teaming it. I think we've always been on with a trio.
Yeah, at least. Yeah, I know you and Dina went duo, but I think it's first time me and you. So
yeah.
Sure.
Dean's got some little bit of change of schedule this week for everybody. So just handling this off the cuff pretty much. So we'll see how this goes. Definitely new roles for everybody.
Sure.
But victory freaking Monday, victory whatever day this is.
Victory week. It's a victory week. We go drag it out. Drag it out till Sunday.
This is the earliest victory week we've had in the past several years.
Very long time. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
What they say, the biggest deficit or biggest win since 2015 against the Falcons.
Yep.
The later game that year.
Yep.
So yeah, there's pretty good things going on this time of year right now. So, what'd you think? What was your takeaways?
Well, based off the text, I think we share probably very similar sentiments for this game. I will say, defensive wise, I mean, I couldn't ask more from a defense, by far the best we've seen the last couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
Finally putting together everybody really game tackling, getting to their guys, doing, staying in their spots, being disciplined for everything on the defensive side of the football. But I do think that covered up, or at least the score covered up, a lot of the efficiency still on the offensive side of the ball. We still saw drop passes. I think Ted had 3, and Renfro had 2. Other than that, there was nobody that got higher volume than those 2 guys on the offensive side of the ball. And then it's just, the play calling still is frustrating to me. Me and Dean's talked about it, last couple of days, how I felt like this was the time where maybe you drew up some of those other plays, you may have stashed in your back pocket, because you didn't have to worry about really. I wouldn't say you still don't want to turn the ball over, but I think you could have took a little bit, more chances than you did. But again, I mean, what we got to see, from Shaw Smith-Wade stepping up in a big way, having the pick 6, played very well. Got to see Scorton, some of the rookies out there, do their thing. Lathan Ransom having a, forced fumble. I mean, those are things you want to see. You want to see those guys on the field, and you want to see, them produce at a high level, and that's what they did. But still, concerns on the offense side of the ball. I heard somebody say this week, you can't talk crap about the Panthers this week because they just won 30-0. From a fan standpoint, hey, we're happy. But I saw throughout, I'm sure you probably saw a lot of things too. There was a lot of concerns still offensively. Our concerns is going forward because, let's be honest, Atlanta fell flat. We've seen them play better football this year than what they played against Carolina. I don't know if they came in, they were just sleeping. I don't know what it was, but they did not look like the Atlanta Falcons of the week before where they, beat Minnesota, which, we just saw what Minnesota did. So it's still – it just you want more. You want to see more from Dave Canales and offense and Bryce Young, So that was my thing about it. Hey, I'm happy we got an early win. I'm hoping this is something we carry on into, the following weeks. I do think with the schedule coming up, you can see this team, I mean, best case scenario, 4-0. If you just look at the teams they're playing, coming up. I would say worst case, you're 2-2. Because I think I think you use this and you go into the next game and there's energy and you're going to carry this with you. And I just hope that's what we see. We just need it to roll over to the offensive side of the ball. And I'm not saying play because I'm not saying, the defense is going to play like this for the next, whatever many games. But I was telling Dean, I was like, if your defense can play 80% of what they played Sunday,
yeah,
and you just get, you get a little bit more from that offense. I mean, you're talking about a team that is rolling, but it's 1 week at a time. That's where I'm at. I said that last week. It's 1 week at a time. 1 week. Hey, 30-0 win. Good job. Let's get to 500. That's what I'm saying.
Right. Yeah. My biggest takeaways, it was not a great win. The score definitely does not tell a story in this case. They were talking about, the biggest win deficit or whatever since 2015. I guarantee if you go back to that 2015 win, that one probably looked a whole lot different than what this one did. Because yes, the defense chipped in, that's pick six from Shaw Smith-Wade. They were inside the 20. They're on 20, right? Yeah, and it was pick six. So it wasn't hardly no time pick, and he's in the end zone. There wasn't even hardly a celebration on the way to the end zone. It was picked, and he was there. So there was a ton left on offense, and the defense, I can't fault them at all. I think I saw a thing where Atlanta didn't even make it to the 30. They didn't even cross the 30 on their offense. So our defense was definitely doing their thing. I do think that Michael Penix had a horrible game. He had one of those Bryce Young games, if we're going to be honest.
100%.
Just completely lost it and couldn't get it back. And wide receiver wise, we ended up getting a wide receiver coach fired off this game.
Carolina Reapers.
Whether it was him or not, the wide receivers did not look good. We definitely had them blanketed. There wasn't really nothing. Even Bijan, I think he had a few yards, but really outside of that, what did they have going on at all?
Yeah.
On the offensive side of the ball, they had a Carolina Panthers outing.
Yeah,
they just
100%
completely could not do anything.
Oh.
But defense, the pass rush still wasn't there. We still wasn't getting home on everything. Moring got that one where come in and popped Penix late. They even said it sort of probably rattled him for the game. After that, they did throw some stunts and some blitzes in there. It's just nothing was really getting home still. I mean, there was some pressure, but we wasn't able to convert or actually capitalize and actually get to them like we should have. Run game, we done better against the run. One thing I definitely need to say is Trevin Wallace, I was definitely sort of called him out for week one, especially. Mm-hmm. He did get better. And I know a lot of people are like, oh no, he was so much better. Well, okay. He made a couple plays. He stopped Pitts. I think it was Pitts for loss or for maybe a minimal gain on that one screen pass. Okay, congratulations, you made yourself a play. That doesn't mean that he's all of a sudden corrected and righted his ship and that he's hadn't missed anything else. He still was out of position a time or two. It's just the Atlanta offense did not do anything to take advantage. I mean, Pitts, they hardly even pressed Pitts. You know what I'm saying? And we've been horrible against the tight end this year.
Oh,
and they didn't even try to attack that.
Mm-mm.
I mean, Michael Penix acted like he had absolutely no idea what to do. Like the game plan, it's like they didn't put a game plan in.
No, I mean, I think they try to get it rolling with Bijan. And you speak on the run defense. That's the biggest improvement of last year. I mean, if you look out, even you look at the Jacksonville game, you take away that big run that ETN had.
Yep.
You're still looking at like under 100-yard game. Mm-hmm. So we've been holding the running backs, pretty stout, and haven't been giving up much over there. But I do agree with the pass rush. You are wanting more. There's at times where they get there. I think it was Derek Brown. Derek Brown got the quarterback hit. It ended up being a holding, So,
Yeah.
that's just as good as a sack, but, is obviously doesn't go on the stat board as that.
Right.
But he was still held. He got off and he was able to get to the quarterback. And they still got the ball, but obviously it's a holding. So, and I want to say one thing about the defense this year is when you look at this defense, there's a lot of new pieces here.
Yes.
The secondary, the corners, they're still the same from last year. You get Derek Brown back. So a lot of these guys are just now playing together, and I think that's what you're starting to kind of see as the weeks progress through 3 weeks. This defense has gotten better every single week. And I think it's these guys, the communication on the field is getting better. They're learning, where these guys are going to be doing their jobs. And I think that's what's important about the defense right now is they're still getting comfortable with each other, I believe. But I mean, hey, EJ, we talked about on here, if there's one guy that, his job's on a short leash, it's definitely him.
Yeah.
And as of right now, I wouldn't say that. I think he's improving that defense every single week. And that's what's been important. But like you said, the pass rush, you still want to see it. I want to see Scorton and Umam Yellen on the field at the same time.
Yeah.
Me and Dean actually talked about this earlier today. I was like, look at the Falcons. They're playing 4 rookies on their side of the ball, on their defensive side of the ball.
Just putting them out there.
Just put them out there.
Yep.
Just let them run together right now.
Yeah.
Same thing with Ransom and Morig. Morig's not a rookie, but you have I would like to see, okay, maybe they're both play, free safety, whatever. Move one to the other side and just have them both on the field and see what it looks like. I'm not saying permanent thing. Let's just see what it looks like.
They've done it a little bit where they've moved Moring down into that box safety or third linebacker or, really second linebacker because they've taken Wallace off when they've done that, and they brought in Ransom to actually play the safety when they've walked up Moring. So, and that's actually, that's been pretty beneficial.
Yeah.
One good thing, and a lot of it's got to do with playing with a lead, which I said earlier in this season, I just want to see us play with a lead because I have yet to see Bryce play with a lead.
Correct.
I wanted to see that, but now, part of that too is wanting to see this defense play with a lead because, as soon as you get a lead, you're able to tee, the run goes out the window at that point. You got to try to pass to catch up, right? So then guys can just tee off. They ain't got to be worried about reading keys. They just know it's going to be a pass, and they can just go. Along with that is the rotation of guys that we can have in there. I did like the fact that because we were up, and it may have more to do with the score than anything, but a lot of our starters in the front 7, we're looking around 50% snap percentages. Derek Brown. What was he? Derek Brown come in, I think it was 52% of the defensive snaps. I'm trying to find him. I had him, lost him. Yeah, 52%. Lathan Ransom had 52%.
Yeah.
So we definitely got to see more of our guys. Scorton, 85%. That was due to the Pat Jones injury that I think he got in more. And then where was my boy? Where's Princely? Princely was at 52%. So we saw those rookies quite a bit this past Sunday.
Scorton's getting better, man. PFF ranked him in the top 5% in the league after week 3 when it comes to double teams or chip blocks. So the teams are recognizing, hey, they have a solid guy on the edge, so they are double teaming them and they are, trying to take them out of the play. So, that's a good thing. That's something you don't really pay attention to, but that's letting you know that the NFL is actually, other teams are actually respecting, that guy on that side of the ball. They're trying to say, hey, make sure we contain him and don't let him beat us. So, it's improving. Scorton's getting better every single week. And, if Pat Jones is healthy, who's to say, we get to see that, but he's taking, the opportunities, he's making the best of them. I guess, I want to go a little bit more on the offense.
Me too. Yeah.
So I told Dean, I was, and I wish he was here because obviously he would go on the XL thing because he said if XL doesn't play, the Panthers win, and I don't disagree that XL, slowed down the offense, in the first 2 weeks. You have to agree because you saw it on the field. And we talked about last week, he wasn't this bad last year. There's something going on with him. But, when you look at the numbers, we only had 2 pass plays that were over 10 yards.
Mm-hmm.
Both were to Tet. One was 21 yards, and the other one was 23 yards. He only had 3 catches. But 2 of them were plus 20 yards. And on the ground, we only had the biggest. I think we didn't have a run over 10 yards. The biggest run was over 8, and I think both Rico and Chuba both hit that. And that's that's the concern we're having, is because honestly, Bryce should have had a touchdown. Tet, with that one hand, trying to get the one hand up for the one hand catch. That's twice this year. I don't understand it. I don't know what he's doing.
Look, and because if it has anything to do with the DB, holding his hand or whatever, he's gonna have to learn to rip that hand.
100%.
If it don't have nothing to do with that, and if it's him just trying to make a one handed grab, then that's selfish, and that needs to be addressed by coaching.
100%.
Because that don't need to keep happening. You're costing us.
Because I looked at both those plays, and I remember the one from week 1. That one, I could say the DB did kind of have a little bit of tug on his shoulder, and it kind of kept that arm pinned. This one that happened this week, if you watch it, it almost looks like Tet has the bottom of the defender's jersey, and he's kind of pushing him down away from him, and then he tries to extend and gets the one hand. That's just something, like you said, it's rookie, but it's still something, because he's already shown himself. He's kind of separating himself and making a name for himself through 3 weeks. He looks good. He's doing everything right on the field. This was just happened to be a down week. But, I agree with you. If it's something that's a him issue, that's something that has to be addressed, because you should have 10, you should have 2 touchdowns on the season. And also, Bryce put that ball spot on, bro. I mean, it was right there.
Yeah.
The elite receivers go up and get those. Your Mike Evans, your tall guys like that, they go up and get those. But yeah, it's still the same old, like, you can watch it back and it's still the same stuff, man. It's just, you had a lead, and I get it. You have a lead, you want to run the ball, you don't want to run it up. I told Dean, I was like, I want the Dan Campbell attitude.
Yeah.
Run it up, run up 30, throwing out flea flickers. You know what I mean?
Right. We shouldn't lessen our game because you suck.
Because that's what teams didn't do it against us.
That's right.
They don't do it against us when we're struggling.
And to be honest, if you're going against a team that's struggling like that, why would you not want to take advantage of that? We do not have enough reps. We've talked about this. And it's basically become, I'll talk to a couple of guys at work, basically week 1 through 3 of the regular season has turned into that's what preseason is now.
That's our preseason, yeah.
It's
our ramp up period.
Yeah, so why are you not putting it on them? That's right. And this is what gets me with the offense, and this is why I wish Dean was on here, because you know how he is about his boy Bryce.
Yeah,
Bryce is leaving the stuff on the field as well.
Oh no,
and I am as much a supporter of Bryce as almost anybody except for Dean. But Bryce is leaving stuff on the field. He definitely left some stuff on the field in this past game. Like I said, Atlanta was not playing good. And we had the running game going. Yeah, we wasn't breaking off huge runs like you said, but we were getting clips of yards and enough where you could convert, and put yourself in third and short, third and mediums, and have good conversion rate on third down. Why are we not taking better shots than what we took? I went back and watched the all 22. Man, there are times when Bryce hits his check down. He doesn't let routes develop when he has time to let them develop. And maybe it's a mental thing where he's just used to not having the time. But there are times where if he just takes an extra second to let all the routes fully develop, there's big plays to be had. And we're leaving them on the field. Yeah. And it's not just in this game. It's been in the other games too. Not so much in the Jacksonville game, but we had it against the Cardinals at times, and we had it even more in this game. This game could have been even bigger had we had capitalized on the offensive side of the ball. We should have scored more than 2 touchdowns with Bryce and Rico Dowdle. We should have scored more.
We only scored 10 points in the first half.
Yeah.
We scored 10 in the third, 10 in the fourth. So it's like you went in a halftime 10-0, but what was on the field? Like you said, what we put on the field, you should have went up 3 touchdowns. Yep. Simple as that. And the thing with Bryce, I support Bryce. You support Bryce, obviously. No, he's bigger than Dean. And he said something today. He was like, it kind of agitates him that people say that when people say Bryce ain't like that. And what it is like from a fan standpoint, we're in year 3. We're in year 3 with Bryce Young. You were the number 1 overall pick. We gave up a haul to go get you. It's not that we don't believe you can get it done. It's just that for me, this might be my personal outlook on it. I need consistent play.
Yeah.
From a first round, the number 1 pick.
Yeah.
I need consistent play. Now, all of it's domino effect. That's play calling, that's players dropping the ball. I know it all adds up. But like you said, when there's things, you mentioned it last week. Passes down the sideline when you can lead your receiver a little bit more. These are things that I feel like you should be making. And even if the receiver drops the ball, I get it. And I told Dean before the season started, I think I mentioned on here, like if we drop balls, we drop balls. That's not changing. That's not it's not changing. We don't have the depth. It's the same thing as last year. These guys continue to drop passes. But let's at least see you get the ball there on a consistent basis, even if they're dropping it. I mean, I know that sounds crazy. It's like, well, if he's dropping it, why wouldn't you throw it? It's like throw to what's open and get the ball to where it needs to go. Yeah. The receiver, it's on the receiver to do his part. And I think that's where a lot of fans are with Bryce. It's like, hey, we wasted all. We paid all this for you, and we're here. Here we are. And you can almost say year 2, year 1. That was terrible.
Yeah, it was a loss.
That was a lost season. But it's just consistency. That's where I'm at with it. I want to see consistent, play.
And here's my thing too. To more of what you're saying too. Like it's hard for me to deal with the dirted passes or the short passes. Like we were getting on JT Sanders for not catching that one that was ruled a catch, and then they come back and said no catch. It's hard to get on JT Sanders when why is the ball thrown that low anyway?
Correct.
You have a 6'5" tight end. Why are you throwing at his ankles? I can get over that a whole lot easier if you're taking shots and you're letting routes develop to take these big shots downfield.
Yeah.
That's a whole lot easier to let these short passes that are in the dirt getting the receivers go.
No.
And right now we're seeing a lot more of the short passes in the dirt than what we're seeing of any shots downfield when I see guys open on the all 22.
Yeah.
Namely Tet for one. And then this also goes to Tet. And I hate to do this being that we're coming off of our first win. And like I said, the earliest one we've had in forever, but here we got Tet on a slant again. It was wide open for him, and he tries to one hand and misses it again.
Yeah.
Not just on the touchdown trying to grab a one-hander, but now he's trying to run another slant in the middle of the field where he's got blocking set up. The middle of the field's there for a run after catch, and hey, my bad. No, that's got to stop.
No, 100%. I agree.
And I know Tet is, T-Mac is leading the all rookies in receiving yards, even over Emeka Egbuka, even though Abuka's got the touchdowns.
Yeah, he does.
But we got to see a little bit more than that. If I'm not ready to crown this guy yet, we need. Some of these things Bryce is forcing to him as well. The jump ball was definitely fantastic, but why is he having to make that? Why is he having to make that leap to be able to get that ball? So there's things like this that Bryce needs to clean up if we're going to be successful, because we cannot. These are things that we cannot continue to overcome, especially against good teams.
100%.
Now, like you're saying, we definitely have a good track in front of us where we could go 4-0 over the next 4 games, over the next 4 weeks. It's lined up for us to do that. But we can't go out there and do that if we're going to continue to miss opportunities downfield in the passing game. And one thing I did like about this week, about our offense that we have not done in the previous 2 weeks, was we hit holes in the running game. And that was a big thing for me last week when we reviewed both, week 1 and 2. It was too much tiptoeing to the line with the running backs, Chuba and Rico. This week, that was not the case.
No, totally different. Yeah.
Yeah, like they
run them with aggression.
Yes, they come to the line with aggression. Like they were in a sprint to hit the line.
Yeah, they
were not tiptoeing up. So the run game definitely improved this week.
Yeah, and you got to see Chuba's vision from last year. You saw where he's patient behind the line. He waits for the hole to develop, and then he hits it. And that's what he did this week. And that's what he did all last year. He was hesitant with his runs, and then when he saw the hole, he would hit it. But yeah, no, like I said, but all that comes down consistency from play caller to quarterback, and everybody getting on the same, the same page. Because fortunate enough, these teams that we have coming up are struggling. I mean, before the season started, Miami was supposed to be good, Dallas was supposed to be good, New England. I think people had hopes, for them, but obviously their situation. When it comes to wide receiver, I don't know if there's a team that's close to us, it's them. They don't have the weapons either. So fortunately, we have these teams that are currently struggling. But guess what? All those teams are also going to try to get back on page too. And they're looking, as we're looking at this schedule, saying, hey, these are easy games coming up. Guess what? They're looking at saying, hey, we have the Panthers coming. Yeah. You know what I mean? So they're looking at us as one of those easy wins also. So these teams can also come back. These teams can come out and they can put up points. I told Dean, we have to turn the 3s into 6s because you can't, like you said, we 30-0 and we only scored 2 touchdowns offensively.
Yep.
That make it make sense. You know what I mean? Like 30-0. It was a dominant performance, and you only scored 2 touchdowns offensively. So I don't know. And when you listen to Dave Canales, this is what frustrates me about him. Is we're playing our ball. This is our ball. What is your ball though?
Yeah.
Your defense hasn't played like this in 2 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
So, and we've seen, the run game look better than it did, this past week. So what technically is your style of ball? Like, what are you trying to do? Because you're not showing me anything.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's the frustrating thing about it right now is I know it sounds like, go ahead.
I think a big thing right now is trying to blend our passing with our running game. It's hard to run. It's hard to run out of an empty back or one back set with Bryce and shotgun. It's hard to run out of that. You just don't get the same. And our best runs have really been when Bryce is under center, which he don't like throwing from under center. So he seems to do better when he's in the gun. So you're sort of tipping your hat when you're, lining up to run, unless you just get a dominant run block performance from your offensive line. It's hard to do. And then you're also tipping your hat when you're going to pass because Bryce is back there in the gun. Yeah. So,
like you said, no set. Empty set. You're back there, right? And we do that so often.
Yeah.
I even think was it somebody sent it to the group when they asked the the offensive or defensive coordinator for the Falcons about it.
Oh yes,
how we show different formations. We can line up, run the ball in the next play. But like you said, you're giving it away what you're doing.
Yeah.
And those better teams obviously, and they have picked up on that.
Yeah. And, that's something I heard about Atlanta too, coming out of their loss. As soon as you lose, everyone's sitting there pointing fingers and they got it all figured out. And that's one of the things that come out about Atlanta is basically their, the play calling and their offensive scheme is generic and pretty much everyone is clear on what they're going to do. And if you can stop what they're going to do, then you've stopped them.
Correct.
And I think that's just like, okay, now we're week 3. You got multiple weeks of tape on you. You know, trends are established at that point, so you know what to stop. That may be what Atlanta ran into. The good thing for us is we haven't put really enough on tape offensively to give them anything to stop, especially with the run game. I mean, if you want to say, Bryce was doing some stuff in that Cardinals game. And maybe they got some stuff on him and was able to prepare for that. But the run game, they hadn't seen nothing from in week 1 and 2 to be able to really put a game plan together to stop anything. Now they did keep us from busting anything open, but Chuba's not really one of those.
No,
he's not really one of those big play guys.
No.
So I don't really, that don't really bother me. I like a steady run game. If we can get 4 to 5 yards on a carry, 8 tops. I mean, hey, you're still moving. You're still moving the ball.
Short yard.
You're creating them short third downs, like I said. Easier conversions, and I like that. And speaking of Chuba, mentioned this. Chuba's now 5th all time in Panther rushing yards.
Yep.
Behind Stu, D. Will, Cam, Christian McCaffrey, and now Chuba's 5th. So with 3,343 yards. So
I think he could pass. I think he passes Christian McCaffrey. I don't think he passes.
Yeah,
because I think it's still over 1,000 yards to pass Cam.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's like 1,700 almost. Yeah,
Yeah,
around 1,700 passes. So it'd take him a couple of years probably.
Yeah. You're asking 2,000-yard seasons at the best.
Yeah. So that's going to be tough, but
still, hey, I think we mentioned it last year. The Chuba's a Panther. You know what I mean? And I think that's what, one thing we can, as fans, can hold our hat on is like the guys you just mentioned, the J. Stews, the D. Wills, like those are true Carolina Panthers to me. Yes, we could say Christian McCaffrey. He had a good stretch in Carolina, but hey, he left, those other guys, they left on the back end, like literally back into their career. So, I mean, they feel like they're Panthers. And I think that's where, I'm a big Chuba fan because of that. He's worked his way up. You know what I mean? He played behind McCaffrey. And now he's, he earned his job. I could say that. That's a good thing about him.
So I was watching one of the Panthers YouTube shows that they put out on a weekly basis or whatever. I think it was the Tuesday show. It had anyway, it's the one with Trey Boston where he comes in and does a little guest spot. So Trey Boston was at the game, of course, like he is for most of them. But in attendance with him in the box was, for you WWE fans, R-Truth, Ron Killens. He was at the game. Him and his sons took in the Panthers game. He's a Charlotte native, definitely a Panthers fan. So they took in the game. Trey Boston was saying that that's that atmosphere that they had, even though the stands were not packed, but that atmosphere with that kind of lead and basically a routing happening, that it was definitely definitely an atmosphere worth being around. Something that hadn't been really taken part in much here lately. So R-Truth showing up to the Panthers games. Little celeb, but B grade celeb.
Hey, like you said, the stands were empty for sure. But did you listen to the Stephen A. thing when they talked about the Steve Smith remarks? We talk about fair weather fans and all that in Carolina.
I saw some. I didn't see the whole thing. I did see some of it.
And how he's saying, because he went to Salem State. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So he's done a lot of, he's like, I've been in Charlotte. He said, I've been around, the Panthers when they were winning. He said, the thing about the Panther fans, he said, when they're winning, they show up. Like, they'll fill those seats. He said, but they're quick to get out. If you I get it. Like, why would you want to go, pay tickets to see your team get rolled,
Yeah.
But I mean, I could say that's one thing about the fans in general. Like, we start winning that city and the culture there, they're going to show up for us.
Yeah.
And that's what we need. That's what these players need. This team need. They just need that. They need the city to get behind them. But right now it's hard to do that.
Well, the thing is too, we're still so young. I mean, it's hard. Lifelong fans are hard to come by. I mean, we're talking 30, 31 seasons now. I mean, it's hard to find lifelong fans. My kids are going to be lifelong fans because I become a fan when, 95 when they opened, and I bred that into my kids, but they're only 18 and 15. So lifelong Carolina Panther fans, they're coming up. So I don't know what you really expect as a professional athlete or anyone in the industry. What would you expect for pretty much an upstart? We're one of the youngest teams in the NFL. So that fan base, we're not Chicago Bears. We're not, the Green Bay Packers. We're not Cleveland Browns. We don't have a long storied history.
No.
It's just not there. I mean, those guys go back to the 40s, 50s, 30s, whatever. We don't have that. We're still building that lineage. So,
no, 100%. Yeah.
Really, you shouldn't even expect that. Really, and I heard them say something about, as far as like they were football in the Carolinas. None of our colleges around here. I think they even said outside of Clemson, every college around here is a basketball college.
Yeah.
They may try to act like they're pushing football, but all these colleges are basketball colleges, and that's what we know here in the Carolinas, especially in North Carolina. So
for sure,
it's definitely a brand, and it's definitely a brand that has to be built, and it's got to be built over a long period of time. And just unfortunately, we're 50 years behind all these other teams. So eventually, we'll get there.
Yeah, and we've had our moments. I mean, 2 Super Bowl appearances in 30 years. That's how people say that's crazy. But I mean, if you're a fan of football, you know how hard it is to get to that championship game. And like you said, a lot of those bigger teams, they've been doing it for a very long time. Yeah. And I mean, they have rings to show. Some of them have rings to show for it.
Yeah.
But I mean, I want to say we're heading in the right direction after Sunday. But again, it's just like you said, we're young. I mean, even on the coaching side of it, we got a second-year coach that I think he's still trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
And it's just a roller coaster, bro. Being a Panthers fan, if we're being honest, it's just up and down.
And that's the thing. Right now, I don't even know how to project the team. It's just a matter of how we show up each week. Are we going to limit? Are we going to limit the turnovers, and are we going to do enough on defense to put ourselves in a position at the end of the game? I think that's sort of where we're at. As long as we don't turn the ball over and defense, we're not giving up anything crazy, then we have a chance in all these games. But we haven't seen that consistently be done. So I don't know where to even project this team right now.
Right. So, I said last week, going in this week, I said week to week, thing for me, I'll take it 1 week at a time. Yeah. My thing was this week, don't turn the ball over offensively. We did not turn the ball over. So that was a start.
Yeah.
You didn't turn the ball over. We had one. Obviously, it really didn't amount to anything. What was it? Travis Etienne or Trevor Etienne.
Yeah. That was probably the lone, I guess, fumble, muff, or whatever of the whole game.
Special teams, other than that, though, special teams just look pretty good.
Yeah, and I definitely got to say, as far as kick coverage, punt coverage, it's definitely gotten better, especially punt coverage, because it was not good. And I think mainly it was because we were out kicking. Punter was just out kicking the coverage, and coverage couldn't get down there because he was kicking it so far.
Yeah.
And then the returner just had all this space in front of him to get something going. So I think it looked like we definitely shored up that, which, what helps in that is not having to punt from the other side of the field. And you're just trying to get it to the opposite side. So when you have a shorter field to punt, you can air those balls out and get the coverage team down there. But Fitzgerald. Sorry.
Fitzgerald,
yeah. He definitely had a good game. A lot of talk about his kickoffs causing problems, dirty balls.
Yeah.
I think is what they said.
I think that's what Vrabel said.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
think a lot of people are looking at what the Panthers and what we're doing on kickoffs to try to come up with a plan because apparently there's been a lot of return kicks, almost at a record rate this year. As far as record yards of return on average. So we're actually lead the league in something this year, and it's yards of kickoff return. So.
Yeah.
And a lot of that's got to do with how we're kicking it off and, how he's knuckleballing them, I think is what he's calling it. He's putting a knuckleball on it where they're coming down a low trajectory and then getting the bounce. And, however that ball comes off, definitely harder to field. So, and it gives our guys time to get down there. I mean, there was that one where the returner ran past the ball and then had to turn back around to come back and pick it up. And by then it was bam.
Yeah, they were
on it. So
no, that's hey, like you said, we're doing something right. Yes, didn't know it'd be special teams because I think that was a concern going in for us.
Yeah, for sure,
especially a kicker.
And hey, we had a perfect kicking game too. Field goal wise.
Oh yeah,
hit all the kicks on that. So. That definitely was a concern. We heard all camp about all the misses. It wasn't a day went by that you didn't hear that there were misses from either Fitzgerald or the other guy. Was right? Yeah. But so good to see that actually happen on a game day where we actually knock every one of them. So
no, everything came together. It was good game plan. I could say that. We looked almost perfect on everything but offense. So
hey, and it was my wife's birthday on Sunday, so she got the victory on her birthday. She also beat me in our family fantasy league. She got the dub on me and went to first place.
Nice.
Coming off of that, so she had a big weekend for her. Definitely enjoyed all the. I took in some high school football. Went and watched Eastern Alamance and Southern Alamance play. Got to see the old wing T offense ran, and it is shit. Don't ever want to watch that mess again. I went and watched this kid I know. He plays for Eastern Alamance. He's like, and I asked him, I was like, hey, what game you want me to come watch? If I come watch a game, he's like, oh, come watch the Southern game. And man, if I'd known they were running that wing T like that, I would not have wanted to go to that game.
Did they lose?
My boy, they lost. They ended up losing to the wing T. It was a close game, but that wing T, you could not see the ball move at all. It was just a scrum of people. The ball snapped, and everybody's just running to the line. You don't even know who's got the ball, because it's an option deal.
Yeah.
And it just ends up a big scrum down there, and everybody's moving around. So it's horrible football to watch. I can definitely tell you that. And I got another kid that plays at another school. He was I was looking at going to watch one of his games, and I told him, I said, well, whatever game I'm coming to is not going to be the Southern game because I'm not watching that offense again. I just watched it this past weekend. I'm not watching it again. So any game but that one I'm going to come to. So,
are they good? Or is Southern Alamance actually good?
They're mid.
Okay.
So actually the team, Eastern Alamance, that I actually went to watch, they were projected to win. But that run game and that wing T was just too much for them. And they controlled the clock. They ate the clock up so much with that run game. They didn't give Eastern time to do anything. So they're mid. And they really shouldn't have won the game, to be honest. But it's a pretty good weekend on all that. On top of all that, got to see football every day, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And of course the Panthers putting the cherry on top with the win. But
I'll let them know when I went to work Monday. I'll let them all know. How about the Panthers? How about the Panthers, boy?
Yeah.
A few people. They were actually. It was it Sunday? It was Sunday. We ordered Domino's, and the delivery guy came. He was pretty cool. He came up, handed me the food. He was like, he said, hey, not like pizza on a Sunday. I was like, hey, man, football, pizza. I was like, both teams in the house won. He was like, oh, who y'all cheer for? I was like, well, she's Washington. He said, I was like, I'm a Carolina fan. He was like, oh, dude. He's like, I was setting up at work. He said, waiting. He said, I was watching the scores, and I looked. He said, 30-0. He said, damn. He's like, where did that come from? I was like, I said the same thing, dude. I was like, no. Dude, we went over to her mom's on Sunday, and when I tell you I wasn't hyped for the game.
I was not either.
I was not hyped for the game. Even going into halftime, like 10-0, I was like, we're going to blow it. We're going to blow it. I was like, we look good defensively. I was like, but we're going to blow this.
Yeah.
So I was like, Atlanta's going to go in the half. They're going to figure something out. They're going to come down. I figured they were going to come out and run Bijan down our throat because, I think if they would have got him going.
Why not? Yeah.
Why not? But, hey, we held on strong, and as it got, I felt a little bit better as the day went on. I was just like, man, it felt good. Like this early in the season especially. So
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what it is.
Well, being that my wife did beat me and go into number one place in our fantasy league for the family, what's your fantasy and dynasty looking like so far this year?
Dynasty, not good.
Yeah.
Dynasty, I'm struggling. I'm solid in a few leagues, but I'm solid in the leagues I'm supposed to be solid in. I think one league. So, are you in Lombardi 3?
Yes. Yes, I am. Yeah.
Did you see my score?
I don't think so. Let me see. What was it?
It was 136.32 to 136.74.
Oh, dang, yeah.
I was winning that when I went to bed.
On Monday night?
Stat correction. Yeah, there was a stat correction. And it had to be either on Gibbs or golf. One of the two things, because my score didn't change, but his score went up by less than a point.
Dang.
And he beat me in that one. But no, I mean, I would say, I guess my main league, I'm 1-2 in. So that's like, I guess my home league, you can say. A lot of buddies I've had that league for 8 years now. So I'm 1-2. I was favorite coming in and not looking. But I have so many leagues, man. It's just it's frustrating, Redraft, especially. I'm favored every single week going in, and I'm just getting hammered by a lot of the same guys, man. There was, Brian Thomas Jr. is killing me right now.
Yeah, me too.
Some of my running backs, I invested in Chase Brown this year. I thought they were going to have a good year.
I got him in a redraft. Yep.
Yeah. Who are some other guys? Javonte. Hey, Javonte Williams was a big hit for me.
Yeah, I bet he was.
Picking him up. But, yeah, no, I mean, it's just guys like that, man. Just the guys that I drafted earlier just struggling. You're struggling through 3 weeks, and this kind of got me in a hole right now.
Yeah.
What about you?
Yeah, Chase, the whole Bengals thing, Chase Burrow combo. I got one stack of that, and that's absolutely killed me. And I have 2 other Chase shares, and I got 1 other Burrow share. So all those have killed me. And I think one of the Burrow leagues that I had Penix as my backup, and I started him this past week. So that killed me as well. BTJ, I went all in on him last year in dynasties and stuff. So that's absolutely crushing me now. He's my number 2 in most leagues, and that's been a killer. Then I got boomer bust guys with like JMO and I'll tell you another one that's killing me is freaking Terry McLaurin. I knew this stuff, man. I knew this whole holdout was going to – I hate holdouts, man.
Same.
Anytime there's a holdout, this is what my fear is, because this is always seems what happens is they hold out, and then because they've been out so long, they end up coming back. They have some type of soft tissue injury because they're not in shape.
Yep.
And they're out there trying to trying to play with guys that are, and they're forcing stuff, and they end up hurting themselves.
Yep.
And now look at what we're doing. You know, Terry McLaurin questionable right now going into week 4. Don't know what's going to happen. Jaden Daniels is out too. That's a hurter for me as well. I've got him in a couple leagues, and you know, I'm running my backups on that. Bryce was one of my backups for Jaden Daniels. That's not helping me. JJ McCarthy was one of my backups in our podcast Dynasty League. I got Jaden Daniels, JJ McCarthy, still got Bo Nix who I'm running, and then Bryce. So, I mean, really, I got Bo Nix that I can depend on.
No, for real. I got Bryce in a lot of redrafts. I mean, I do have him in some dynasties, don't get me wrong, but I took him as my QB2 in almost all of my redrafts. I would say I have Bryce Young, outside if we're in one and you happen to have him, but I took him everywhere.
CeeDee Lamb is another killer for me.
Yeah, crucial.
I've got multiple shares of him.
What was another guy that was drafted really early? Ladd McConkey. I don't have any shares of him, but
he's
hurting a lot of people.
Yeah, he's like third on their team right now. I think third receiver. So
Keenan Allen. Who would have thought Keenan Allen?
I know.
3 weeks is
and then Quentin Johnson.
Dude, QJ. It's
I just picked him up in a redraft because he was available in a redraft.
I
just picked him up.
He was available in 2 redrafts after week 1. I went big on him because I was like, you know what? I just saw the utilization and how they were using him. I was like, this could be a big year for him. So I was able to pick him up in one, and then it got outbid in the other. But I tell you, my biggest move this year, before the season started, in my work league, it's a tight end premium, and these guys went. When I tell you, they went tight end crazy. They went tight end insane, bro. I mean, like, I think the top guy I had drafted was Zach Ertz. That was my first tight end before the season started.
Which isn't bad. But
is it bad?
Yeah, it's still down the list.
Before the season started, I sent Ricky Pearsall and Zach Ertz. I got Tyler Warren.
Okay.
And so Pearsall was balling, but I was able to get that tight end. But I went tight end heavy, but that's also a league I took McLaurin in. So now I'm stuck with him. I try to move him. I got a couple offers. And then now I'm just I don't know what his situation's going to be. So who's some Xavier Worthy? I think that's another one I have some shares of that's kind of hit, but it looks like he may be back this week. Caleb Johnson. That's the one. That's the one that has haunted me, and I would say 75% of my leagues. Because I am a guy, when I draft, well, you see me draft, I usually most of the times push running back. It's to a certain extent. I push him back, and he was a guy that I was getting in those middle rounds.
Yep.
I was drafting him over Jaylen Warren.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, this is RB1. Bruh.
Nope.
Bro. And now I'm sitting here, and I'm looking at the running back depth on free agency. I'm like, dude, it is a desert.
Yeah.
Me and you're in a lot of leagues together. It is a desert when it comes to running backs.
Yeah, it's nothing.
There is nothing out there. So that's
like you're looking at third running backs that are not in a big committee.
Mm-mm.
Like it's 1-2 guys tops on those teams. That third guy is nothing.
Nothing.
So it's I know what you're saying. You know, another thing that's killed me too. Another guy, Travion Henderson and the Patriots.
I don't understand
that whole thing. I saw something that said, "Is Travion Henderson sleeping with Vrabel's wife? What's going on?"
Yeah, I don't.
I don't understand. And then on top of that, Ramondre and Gibson both have fumbled the ball multiple times.
Yep.
And then Henderson is still in a share with those guys. If this is Bill Belichick, those guys, one of them may be off the team and the other one's on the bench, you know?
I just hope that week 4 isn't the week they decide to give Henderson his opportunity.
Yeah. If they don't, all right, we're riding with him. Yeah.
We're riding with him.
Yeah. Week 5 sounds like a good time to do that.
Yeah. Give us Stevenson and Gibson. That's who we want. That's who we want. Right. Actually, a buddy of mine today, he needs wide receiver depth, and I was an honest guy. Like, listeners, if you're listening, this is like, don't do 101. But he was like, hey, would you take Travion Henderson for Terry McLaurin? And that was today. And he hadn't seen the news. And I was like, dude, as much as I want to send you that, I was like, I'm going to be honest. I was like, I don't know about Terry McLaurin right now. I was like, he's getting a second opinion on his injury. I was like, it doesn't sound good.
And it's Dr. Williams too, right? Which is the big, that's serious.
Yeah. So I was like, I'm not going to do that to you. I'm not going to send him to you. Sorry. I'll drop him. Like, you want to pick him up? You do it. But I was like, I can't send it to you because he has Rashee Rice. He has Rashee Rice. He just lost another. Oh, he had Mike Evans. So he got hit with both those guys in the injury bug. So,
I'm worried too because I got Jordan Addison in a lot of spots too, and even some redrafts that I took him. And we're looking at his suspension's about up. He's going to be coming back, but now there's been a lot of injuries this year, a lot more than we had last year. Last year was a pretty good year, as far as injuries go. I mean, this year's been a lot, and then now I'm looking at Jordan Addison. All right, he's coming back off suspension, but then how long is it going to take to get him going?
Yep.
Then are we going to have to deal with him coming in and, because he hadn't been going? What is he
I'm playing him
to
this
deal
week.
with?
I'm playing him in one redraft this week.
Really?
I have to. It was like, I was like, I have to. Like, him getting 0 on my lineup is no different than somebody scoring me for, the same damn thing. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to plug him in and play. I think they need it over there. I'm with you. I'm hoping the ramp up is easy for him. I'm assuming he's going to be on snap count. Most situations like that, you don't run a guy out there for 80% of the snaps.
Well, and then your quarterback, you're dealing with a backup quarterback too. So
yeah,
you got to take defense too. I mean, they can rely on that defense maybe to get them through some games.
And speaking of like quarterbacks right now, I mean, there's some big name players that are being, kind of taking a hit. Justin Jefferson's one. Yeah, with the quarterback situation, Malik Neighbors is one. Yeah. I mean, he had his big game. He did have his big game. But this past week he struggled. Obviously, Jamar Chase. His real first game with Jake Browning wasn't that good. You already mentioned that. I think that's part of Brian Thomas Jr.'s problem. His quarterback play right now. Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't say Ricky Pearsall was struggling with it, but I mean, I think. With the Brock Purdy situation, the first week he was out, it was kind of rough for the wide receivers.
So. Yeah, week 2, yeah.
So you got quarterbacks going out, and you got just guys starting off slow, man. And it's just it's.
And you had CD dropping multiple passes and then getting hurt, and I mean that Pickens stock is definitely up. I'm definitely where I have because I had Pickens. There's a couple places where I had Pickens and CD, and it's not because I drafted them; it's because I've had them, right? Just dynasties, and it's definitely hurt Pickens' stock the first couple of weeks. But I think with the CD injury, if he's out, Pickens is definitely going to benefit from that. Turpin has been the best thing they've had, pretty much. As well, Ferguson is definitely. I'm gonna tell you that's a big plus for me is Ferguson.
Ferguson, the ones that drafted Jawan Jennings. I mean, he was a free agent, and a lot of my leagues, he was getting picked up off free agency. Nobody even drafted him.
Yep.
Those are really two guys right now that are carrying some rosters, especially in tight end premium. I think almost all of our leagues are tight end premium.
A lot of them, yeah.
So they're getting carried. Fannin, the rookie for Cleveland. Njoku's taking a huge hit on that.
And the thing
is, a weird year.
So they've actually been pretty close. I know week 1, Fannin had that big. He had a big game, and then Njoku sort of was mid. I think it was like he had like 3 or 4 points. But I think week 2 and 3, I want to say they were like almost right there neck and neck. And I think maybe week 2, Njoku edged out Fannin, but this past past week, Fannin edged out Njoku. So if it's in a tight end premium, both those guys are, pretty good plays.
Yeah, you don't want the wide receivers. You don't want Judy or Quincy
No.
or Tillman, bro.
Exactly. No.
Those are prime example, man. And it's the guys that were drafted in like the top 4 rounds that are hurting people right now.
Yeah.
Especially me. And I know you've taken a
Yeah,
hit.
absolutely.
I know as soon as the Burrow thing happened, you said in the text messages like, dude, that's going to kill me. It's going to kill me. But hey, it's fantasy. It's weird. Every single and JSN, bro.
Yeah.
Texas Smith and Jigba. He's special. He's special.
He's looking good.
It's a big dub for the ones that were able to get him.
Yeah.
Hannah, dude, she's crushing it. Before we move on, she's crushing it in one league, dude. Listen, it's funny because it was a lot of names you just mentioned. This roster. Now, listeners, I will say this. That is my girlfriend, and I don't help her draft. She has learned over the years. She kind of does her own thing. She has a system she rolls by, which is the same system that I use. So she kind of drafts similar to me. But this is her roster. This is what she drafted. She has Jared Goff, Emeka Ibuka, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Brenton Strange, Jackson Smith and Jigba. And I think she had George Kittle, but he got hurt. She has Chig Okongwu, whatever you say his name. He's doing well right now. She's crushing in that league right now. Like she literally has I think what's that? 1, 2, 3 of the top 10 wide receivers right now in fantasy.
Hey, Emeka Ibuka is a huge pick, man.
Truth.
Huge pickup.
Yeah. She doesn't even know who he is.
Yeah.
She don't even know who he is. So she goes, Emeka Ibuka. She was like, I don't know. She needed a wide receiver.
And the thing is, too, people were worried about how's that going to go when Godwin comes back. But now you're looking at Mike Evans is out now after this past week. God, talk about another one that killed me this past week.
Yeah.
But now Mike Evans is out. Godwin's still, I think he's still going to be out. I think he's questionable right now. But still leaves it open for Ibuka, man.
Yeah. Hey, he's a field stretcher. Ibuka is a field stretcher. We know Baker loves to throw the ball deep. And Ibuka's been his guy. He's been his guy over Mike Evans this year.
Yeah.
I think he's turned into that similar role that Mike Evans has. Not as big as Mike Evans, still a big receiver, but he's that downfield look for Baker. And even if Godwin plays this week, again, he's coming off the ankle injury. You're going to see a ramp up. It's not a guy that's going to go out here and just, dominate the first week he's back.
No.
But Emeka's the truth. He's a truth.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, and that's a definite steal, I think. I mean, a lot of people that got him, especially in redrafts. I mean, redrafts, he was definitely a steal.
Yeah.
If you're in a startup.
Yeah, she drafted him in I just want to see on average, because I'm sure it's about where he was drafted, 12th round.
Yeah. Yeah.
4th pick in the 12th round is where he was going. I would say that's about average.
So this is the last thing I got for any of fantasy dynasty stuff. There was in our Stop Capping Dynasty League, I had Luther Burden and Trey Tucker on the bench this past week. That was 80 points. 80 points on between two guys sitting on the bench. So I have a couple shares of Burden throughout my different teams. I had him on the bench in all of them.
Yeah.
So you gotta hate. And the thing is, I've expected him to be more than what he's been. But they've been struggling. Luther Burden.
Oh yeah.
But they've been struggling, and finally they were able to get something going. They definitely look like a different team this past week. Speaking of looking like a different team, man, the freaking Browns beating the Packers that thought they were going to be undefeated.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah,
I did not, because I think it happen right around the time that the Eagles thing happened, where it was blocked, right?
Yeah,
they ran it back. They won. They beat the Rams.
Yes,
and then
yes.
like I said, I was at her mom's, so they were out on the back porch. They had a screened in. They have a TV out there, so they were watching the Washington game, and I was inside watching the Panthers game. And then, like, when all that happened, I'm watching the Eagles, and then they're like, "Oh my God, he hit it!" And I'm like, "What happened?" I thought they were talking about the Eagles. There's like Cleveland just beat
walk-off
Green
field
Bay.
goal.
I was like,
Yeah.
"What?"
Yeah.
I was like, I wasn't even watching. I was like, "What just happened?"
Yeah.
That's crazy. Quinshon Judkins, hey, they got him
Yeah.
one. I think.
Yeah.
They got him
Yeah.
one. I'm just wondering when they're going to make that switch at the quarterback position. If they make that switch at the quarterback position,
My thing. Obviously, Flacco's not going to be the long-term answer, right? Mm-hmm. Your defense is as good as it is. Why would you not try something different?
Yeah,
that's where I'm at. I mean, y'all have had a carousel. Y'all have plugged and played a quarterback the past 3 seasons.
Yeah.
Why would you not just make a change?
Yeah, no. You don't
What
want to.
are you losing?
Yeah, you don't want to be that middle of the pack team, like the 7 and something, and really not know what you're doing at quarterback, because then that's just hurts you long term. Because, like you said, offensively, they have a young offensive team. You got Quinshon, you got Dylan Sampson, which is a really good backup.
Mm-hmm.
You got Judy, he's 26. You got Cedric Tillman, he's 23. You got Fannin. I mean, I think the oldest guy on that side may be Njoku.
Yeah.
So I'm with you. I'm like, make the change. I mean, hey, if it's not Shador, I know everybody's Shador. Hey, Dylan Gabriel, give him a shot. See what he has. You know what I mean? Deshaun's not your long term.
No,
he's not going to be even when he gets back. I mean,
yeah.
I would like to see them with the young quarterback and see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be different if Flacco was lighting it up. It'd be different.
Right.
Then
he's a game manager right now.
Right. I just think you could do. Let's see what else you got. I mean, you were just able to beat what looked like the best team in the NFL the
first 2
weeks 1 and 2. You just beat them. You throttled them with your defense. Definitely is what won you the game. Why not go in and make a change? I think it's time for them. I mean, hey, we got the Giants. Making the change now.
Yeah, no,
going
smart.
to Jackson Dart right now as well. So they could keep Russ out there. Russ keeps him in games and stuff, but hey, he's also leaving some stuff on the field. So
and they had you full week too. The Giants did, because it was like, hey, look what they did to Dallas, but then look what the Bears did to Dallas. Dude, what about the Colts? How about that?
I know.
How about Daniel Jones?
Dude. Crazy, right?
Insane, bro.
What does that tell you about AR?
All you need to know.
Yeah, exactly.
All you need to know.
So, guy at work, he was like, "Did you see this?" He's talking about the Ursay's daughter. She's on the headset, wants to hear all the plays and stuff. He was like, "Did you see this?" He's like, "What's her deal?" I was like, her dad died. She's the only, she basically inherited the team. I was like, she's wanting to hear what's going on. She basically wants to know that she can trust the coaches. And I told him, I was like, really, as long as that's all she's doing, I don't have a problem with it. I mean, it's probably good on her to learn, because who knows what her level of knowledge is.
Oh, no, for sure.
Hear the coaches talk and all that. And it probably has. And I told him, I said, it's probably got something to do with they have a top draft pick that they drafted a couple years ago, and he has not lived up to anything. And it's a big deal. They put the investment in it with a early first round pick, and he's not panning out. And a lot of people were trying to put it on the coach and saying it was the coach that was the problem. And, she's probably just wanting to hear I was like, but the way it's going for them right now, they're 3-0. So, I don't know how long she really needs to listen in, but that's definitely a shocker to me.
No, that's my biggest shocker of the season, is the fact that he is playing so. I wanted to see his age, because just talking about the quarterback situation in general, because I look at this as so he's 28. So I look at this as like the reemergence that you saw with Geno Smith, you saw with Sam Darnold, Baker Mayfield, you saw with Baker. These guys getting a second chance. Daniel Jones is a bad quarterback. I know we're from the Carolinas, so he played at Duke. He was so good at Duke. He lit it up when he was there. Came into the league, with promise, and all it took was getting him in the right situation, getting him out of New York, and putting the right pieces around him. And this is what you get. everybody was saying he's just a bad quarterback. I mean, he's 3-0, and I don't think he's turned the ball over this year. He's playing smart. He's putting the ball where it needs to be. He's not making the mistakes. Now, that does help when you have Jonathan Taylor behind you, because he is currently RB1. So, hey, I'm all for it. For it. I think he's 28 years old. I mean, right there, that gives you got another 4 or 5 years right there in Daniel Jones. If you can get him to play like this for that much longer, I think you get a quarterback. I think you just trade. You ship AR off. Somebody's going to take him, right?
Yeah, I mean, maybe. Maybe. There might be a suitor out there for him.
Somebody.
Definitely ain't going to get premium capital for
you're
it.
Not gonna get you're not going to get what you spend on them, but,
right.
You may get a third, maybe a fourth rounder for him.
Yeah. What did the Cowboys give the Patriots for Joe Milton?
I think it was like a fifth, maybe.
A fifth, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So maybe something, around there. A little bit higher.
Yeah. And so, hey, I'm all for it. I was one that drafted AR in one Dynasty league. I was like, hey, I'll take a shot on him. Obviously, that didn't pan out. Actually, it was funny because it's Lombardi chasers. I have Stroud, Bryce, and AR. Now I traded those. Obviously, I didn't draft
tough class.
It's a tough class, but I'm doing it. But I got Daniel Jones in that league too, so somebody's doing something right. So, hey, I'm all for it. I like it. I love it. I love to see it. Colts 3-0, crazy, biggest surprise of the season so far.
Hey, it's good for football. Good for football.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. Moving on. Let's move on to some picks, and then we could talk about how we're in the same class as some of these. We got the same record as some of the top teams in the league here. When we get into these picks. All right, so for our pick'ems, Thursday night football. We'll start with that game. Is the Seahawks at the Cardinals? What you thinking on that game?
I'm going to take Seahawks in this one. I think they're just a better team in general, better defense. Seem to be clicking on all cylinders right now. Sam Darnold's not looking too bad. JSN's on fire, as we mentioned earlier. And they just lost James Conner. So we're the Cardinals just lost James Conner, that is. So we don't know what Trey Benson is going to look like with the role, or he's even going to be the starter. Marvin has been struggling. They got Trey McBride, fantasy start Trey McBride. Other than that, I think it's pretty straightforward. I'm going with a better team.
Yeah. I'm going to go Seahawks too. Part of me, the Cardinals are just one of those teams, though. Like, I could easily see the Cardinals coming out and winning.
Absolutely.
Just especially in their division and just what the Cardinals do, man. They win the games that you wouldn't think that they should. They definitely surprise teams, but I think that the safe bet here is the Seahawks. My game of the week is the Bucks at the Eagles.
Who did John and Dean take in that one?
I'm sorry. So Thursday night football, Seahawks at Cards. Both actually, it's clean sweep. Seahawks. Right. Everybody's picking Seahawks. Right, cool. My game of the week is Bucks at Eagles. Both these teams come off close games. Last second to later part of the fourth quarter before they were able to ice the deal. I think that the Bucks sort of have the Eagles' number. They got them last year during the season. I'm going Bucks here just to make it short and sweet. I'm going Bucks. I just think that there's an opportunity here for the Eagles to lose. And I think this is a good spot for them to lose at.
All right. I'm going to go Eagles in this one. I just feel like the Bucks should have lost their last two games, personally. They lose Mike Evans. I know we mentioned Emeka Ibuka. You do have what's his name? The wide receiver we mentioned earlier coming back.
Chris Godwin.
You do have Godwin coming back, but as we said, we don't really know what his percentage is going to look like. Again, so I think you just have Emeka Ibuka, Sterling Shepard. I don't know. I just feel like the Eagles, they're just going to go in, and I don't think the Bucs are going to have a chance to have that last-minute drive to come down and beat the Eagles. So I'm going to go with the Eagles.
All right. And John and Dean are both taking Eagles as well. Then we'll go to this is John's game of the week. This is Colts at Rams. Speaking of the Colts from earlier, what do you think?
You know what? Let's go 4-0, baby. 4-0. I'm taking the Colts.
I'm going to go with you, too.
Yeah, Jonathan Taylor, bro, I'm telling you, he is on another level right now. Daniel Jones is playing well. I like what you're seeing from Tyler Warren. I mean, I just like it in general. I know the Rams are the Rams. The Rams are good.
Yeah, the defense.
The defense is solid. But, man, I feel like the Colts are going to come in there with a little bit of chip on their shoulder, you know.
I think this Colts defense is a little what's the word? It's underappreciated, I guess, underrated or whatever. So I think the Colts is a little bit better than what they give. And the Rams, they have their struggles too. So, I like the Colts. I'm going to go with Colts on this one too. This will bring us to your game of the week.
What was John and Dean's pick on the Rams-Colts games?
They both picked the Rams.
All right, so split. Colts, Rams. All right. My game of the week is the Ravens at the Chiefs. Now, I had picked the Ravens to only lose one game this entire season. I was big on the Ravens, sorry. Obviously, the defense is not what we thought it would be. Derrick Henry is currently struggling to hold on to the football. Seems to be fumbling in the moments where he doesn't want to fumble the ball. My heart wants to say the Ravens, man, but you're going to Kansas City, and they're going. If they get Worthy back, it sounds like they may have Worthy back this week. They're kind of starting to figure something out offensively with whatever pieces they're putting together, and it's the Chiefs, man. This is Chiefs at home. They're trying to get to that 500, and I just until I could see the Ravens. I told Dean today. I think the Ravens that. They're going to move some pieces around. They're going to figure it out. If there's a team that's going to figure it out, it's going to be the Ravens. But I think this early, it's crazy that both these teams are 1-3.
Yeah, and
somebody's going to come out 1-4. But I may be the only one, but I'm going Chiefs.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Ravens on this one just because I can't see that this continues to happen with the Ravens. I think they struggled last year early on as well. Maybe they're not passed early enough in the season and they still struggle again this week. But I don't think the Chiefs have really got it all together either. So I got to go Ravens mainly because of the run game. I just feel like Derrick Henry's too much of a pro, too much of a dog, and King Henry is going to show up again at some point. So I just got to believe it's this game. And, it's going to be I'm going to pick Ravens on this one. Then John and Dean both split. John took the Ravens. Dean took the Chiefs in this game. Next would be Dean's game of the week, which was Jets at Dolphins. I guess he's going with the Miami hometown team here. I'm going to say that, you know what? I'm going Jets. I think there's a lot of mess happening with Miami right now, and I just don't know if they're going to overcome it. I think the Jets are on the upward trend. They almost took out Tampa Bay this past week. Man, that coach, Aaron Glenn, he's definitely got guys inspired. This does not look like the same Jets team that we've seen. And I know that, they're playing with Tyrod Taylor and, backup quarterback. I'm not even sure Fields, what the latest is on Fields.
There's no update on him currently. That's why I was checking.
Yeah. So even though all that, I think the Jets and that defense and just the troubles that Miami has had, I think they're going to get the Tua. They're going to disrupt Tua. I think the Jets have got this one.
Yeah, I agree with you. Everything. I'm on the assumption it was a concussion protocol that Fields was in, so I'm assuming he's back this week. Well, obviously tomorrow would be the day. Tomorrow and Friday would be the day, but I'm assuming if he's back to practice, he's definitely putting the helmet on Sunday. So I'm with you. I'm on the Jets. Again, same thing, man. It looks like a different team. Dolphins are just I don't know what's going on down there. They're just not clicking. So yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah. All right, so that's going to be a split menu with the Jets. Dean and John taking the Dolphins in this one. So that brings us to the home team, to the Carolina Panthers, going to New England to play the Patriots.
Yeah.
This is what I was saying earlier. It's going to put this as a week, man. We're going to be right here with the Ravens and Chiefs. We're coming into week 4 with the same record as the Ravens and the Chiefs.
And
we're going to leave this week with the same record as either the Ravens or the Chiefs.
You're going to the Patriots.
Man, I want to go Panthers. I really do. I really want to go Panthers. I'm still on that. I can't believe it. I don't believe it. You know, they still have to show me. And right now, I just do not believe it. I know the Patriots are struggling, and I guess this comes down to Bryce he sort of struggles on the road. I can't go with the Panthers on the road here. I got to go with the home team with the Patriots.
When I did my preseason projections, I did pick the Patriots to win this game, but I'm not balled in. But what I'm going to say is what I said earlier. If we can get 80% of the play that we got Sunday, we can beat the New England Patriots. Offensively, they don't have anything that worries me outside of Hunter Henry. Like you said, the Panthers have been bad against the tight end this year. He's coming off, I think, an 8-catch, 90 with 2 touchdown game. So if you're telling me that the only person we have to worry about is Hunter Henry, I feel a little bit better about it. I don't wide receiver wise. I just feel like our corners are better than those guys. Drake May is still obviously a very good quarterback. It's tough, but I'm going with the Panthers. I'm going to say I think we're going to do enough. It's probably going to be an ugly game. It probably isn't going to be pretty because obviously what we talked about earlier, we don't think our offense is there yet. But I think defensively, these guys are going to carry this over defensively. I'm taking the Panthers, but I will say this. If the Panthers end up losing this game, it's probably going to be because the offense is probably given the chance to win it, and we probably can't get it done.
Yeah.
So, but I'm just gonna ride it. I'm gonna ride it. I'm gonna go Panthers.
So John has picked the Panthers. Surprisingly, I figured he was going Patriots.
I was like, I'm surprised. I'm surprised.
Dean, no shocker, has picked the Panthers to win. He did put the caveat out there that is if Tet plays. If Tet does not play, then it's the Pats for him.
We're doing that. We're locking it in.
We're locking him in as the Panthers on the official record.
Yes.
So since he's especially not here to defend himself, no defense. So judge rules independent of whoever. So he's locked in for the Panthers. It's the big thing, man. If I hope Travion Henderson, this isn't the week that they figure that out.
He's the better running back.
Yeah. I hope they don't figure it out this week. And like you're saying, with what they got at receiver, it's definitely, it feels like our 23 team of wide receivers, where it's just like, what do you got? You got the aging vet to lead your wide receiver team. He can be good if he's in that role, but he hadn't been consistent. He hadn't been consistent over the last few years. He had the week 1, I think, was his biggest week this season so far. And then the past 2, he's fell off, and it's really been, like you said, Hunter Henry been the biggest target last week. So it's going to be tough. I really hope we do come out with the win on this one, though. It's definitely one that if we don't win this one, it's going to be hard to pick the Panthers for any of the going forward. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
We're wanting to talk about getting confidence and being able to trust this team. This is one you got to get.
No, it is. It comes down to the same thing that we say every single week. Don't shoot yourself in the foot.
Yeah.
Don't turn the ball over. Win the turnover, these running backs or this team has showed you they'll give you the ball. I mean, they'll turn the ball over. They have turned the ball over. So it's like win there. Don't make the mental mistakes, and play sound defense. Don't get beat on the plays you shouldn't get beat in. If you're telling me your game plan is to go into New England this week and say, hey, there's one person we got to stop, that's Hunter Henry. Figure that out. I think we've done enough in the run game as far as stopping it that this team can take care of that. I said last week my biggest thing was no turnovers, and that happened. We didn't shoot ourselves in the foot. We didn't get down. This week, I want to see the pressure get to Drake May.
Yeah, make him uncomfortable.
Make him uncomfortable. Get him out of the pocket and force him to throw it to the wide receivers that, again, as you just said, it's kind of pair. They don't have any crazy option that can beat you. Mm-hmm. Get to him and get him out of that pocket and get him down. Get the sacks. Simple as that. And just figure something out on offense. I'm praying. I've been saying it. Let's get a Tedero McMillan touchdown finally.
Yes.
Get into the end zone. Turn those 3s into 6s. Let's just, and just play all around good, balanced football. I think if you do that, again, if it's ugly, I don't give a damn if it's 13-10.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If it's 13-10, you just didn't make the mistakes. And you just walked out with a solid performance on the road. And like you said, Bryce, his record on the road is not good. Right now you're 0-2 on the road this year starting off. You have to get a road win. Yeah. You have to win on the road in this league. So that's kind of my keys that, just building off last week is what I want to see, what they do.
89 yards and a touchdown for Tet this week. Let's see it.
I hope so. So invested, bro. So invested. So invested. Oh, man.
All right. Well, I think that's going to do it for us on this week's episode. So if you have not yet started following, please start following us on Facebook, Stop Capping Podcast Group, Twitter, Stop Capping Pod, Instagram _ Stop Capping Podcast, YouTube, Stop Capping Podcast, and as always, keep pounding.
Keep pounding.
Go Panther.
Malone fires to an open Smith. Steve Smith is going to go all the way. No flags down. Smith scores, and the Carolina Panthers win in overtime.
With the first pick in the 2023 NFL Draft, the Carolina Panthers select Bryce Young, quarterback, Alabama.